Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Jacqueline Matter. Scott Dennis has the night off. Our top story tonight, Sheriff Tom Knight has announced that he's hiring. The Sarasota County Sheriff's Office looking to employ 14 school resource officers for the 2018 school year. It's all part of a continuing effort for school safety following the deadly Parkland shooting. ABC 7's Taylor Torregano has more.
17 lives were lost in Parkland, Florida a month and a half ago today. It was the most recent shooting of many, but this one sparked a new movement.
If all our government and president can do is send thoughts and prayers, then it's time for victims to be the change that we need to see.
Students actively participating across the nation and here to be this change, encouraging the Sarasota County School District and Sheriff Tom Knight to do the same.
We're looking for predominantly those retired police officers who want to come back and serve, who want the health benefits and the opportunities that we offer here within the Sheriff's Office.
The sheriff announcing that he's hiring a school resource deputy for each of the 12 elementary schools in the county. It will be a 10-month program paying $23.50 an hour for the candidates who must already be Florida law enforcement certified.
It's a good gig for somebody who is retired, who knows how to do this job, who can be easily trained by us, and who can go out and perform the duties of a deputy on a campus to keep a campus safe.
A new program for the 2018 to 2019 school year, providing some comfort to parents who are apprehensive to send their children to school at all these days.
It's nerve-wracking, and one thing for sure is we also consider homeschooling instead, because you don't know, you can't control, outside of home.
But a new control inside the schools that Sheriff Knight says was a long time coming.
We've always wanted to have deputies on these campuses since what's been going on nationwide over the last 10, 11 years, and it's something that's the right thing to do, that parents want something on the campus to protect their children, and that's what we're doing.
And the sheriff says that the superintendent asked him to hire these deputies within a $66,000 budget, but Sheriff Tom Knight did one better, providing these deputies with just $63,000. I'm live at the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office. Taylor Torregano, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Okay, Taylor, thank you. An arrest has been made in a Manatee County homicide cold case. Back in 2006, Jose Rodriguez Lozada was shot on 3rd Street West in Bradenton and later died from his wounds. Detectives say Zimar Rosario was a person of interest in that case at the time of the shooting. New leads were developed in 2017, and last night detectives arrested Rosario and charged him with murder. Detectives believe the shooting was drug-related. A former Bradenton bail bondsman is sentenced to more than 8 years in prison for cashing stolen and fraudulent checks. James Jean Rene deposited more than 100 United States Treasury checks for tax refunds or veterans' pension benefits into bank accounts for his bail bonds company. He also stole over $850,000 from victims including veterans and elderly and disabled individuals. Jean Rene was found guilty of conspiracy, theft of government property, and identity theft. A major intersection in downtown Sarasota is getting a roundabout in hopes of alleviating traffic congestion. FDOT is in the process of designing a 2-lane roundabout at the US 41 and Gulfstream Avenue intersection. That project also includes pedestrian and bicycle lanes along with a pedestrian-activated crossing signal. Construction is planned to begin in late of 2019. That roundabout is expected to take a year to build.
This design not only looks at today's volumes, but it looks at traffic volumes 30 years out as well. So we think that our belief is that this roundabout will not only function today or next year when it's being built, but in the long term as well.
This project will cost $4.1 million. FDOT is paying for $2.5 million of that, the city of Sarasota fronting the rest. And speaking of traffic, a lot of people heading to the beaches today. Let's get a check on our first alert weather forecast with meteorologist Steve Newman, who's in for Bob tonight. Steve?
Hey, Jacqueline, a lot of people visiting right now. In fact, our snowbirds are getting ready to head back north after this weekend. A lot of them are. So there are a lot of people in town, and they've got great weather to enjoy the Suncoast. Temperatures in the low 80s across most of the state. A little cooler out at the beaches because of that water. 71 at Longboat Key, Siesta 73. As warm as 85 at Arcadia right now. Looking at our satellite view, you can clearly see the southeasterly wind flow with these little popcorn cumulus clouds blowing across the state. But we have strong high pressure that's really keeping them from developing into anything. And looking at radar, I have to tell you, most of the radar sites from the National Weather Service are down for maintenance because the air is so dry we don't need them, so it's a good time to check them up. But what you're seeing up here is our next weather maker. We'll be telling you more about that coming up later in the newscast. But our overnight futurecast shows very little in the way of clouds, just a cloud here and there with winds from the south-southeasterly direction, very mild. And temperatures will be mild overnight as well, cooling off through the 60s through the evening hours. By 7 o'clock, we'll be around 74, 75 degrees. Overnight low, 62. Our forecast for Passover and the Easter weekend coming up in just a few minutes. Jacqueline.
Okay, thank you, Steve. Well, there's a big commotion outside of Venice Regional Hospital today. 4 fire trucks had their ladders extended to the roof. But don't worry, it was just training. Fire departments from all across Florida took part. ABC 7's Christopher Brantley was there and joins us now live with more details. Good evening, Christopher.
Good evening, Jacqueline. You can see fire training has kind of wrapped up for the day. You can see the firefighters are all having their end of day briefing. The training was held here at Venice Regional today because it's what firefighters call a target hazard, meaning if it catches fire, it could present several obstacles.
Time can mean lives, so anything we can do to speed it up safely and efficiently, that's what we're trying to do.
Firefighters from across Florida are in Venice this week sharpening their skills, training at Venice High School and on Wednesday at Venice Regional Hospital.
You can talk about it all you want in a classroom, but just to get your hands on it and physically doing it, throwing the ladders, going to the roof.
Firefighters from Cedar Hammock, Green Acres, Jacksonville, and Osceola County were on hand, as well as our local departments, Longboat Key, Sarasota County, and Northport.
It's good to get hands-on training here in the city because our city of Northport is growing closer and closer to Venice.
And that's the point. If Venice Regional Hospital was actually on fire, it's likely the Northport Fire Department would be called in to help.
Just to learn how everybody's going to interact and how we're going to operate when we do have a call like that. Because it's not a matter of if, it's when.
Instructors from an outside company were on hand. You can see one of them teaching firefighters about a cable.
These guys have a lot of hands-on and they're sharing their knowledge, tricks, and techniques and things that make our job easier and things maybe we don't think about all the time.
The training is held once a year. This year it received a substantial amount of outside resources. Lunches were sponsored by Motorola, the local union in Venice Hospital, and Pierce, the maker of fire trucks, drove 2 rigs down from Appleton, Wisconsin to assist in the training.
You have a question, a technical question, if they don't have the answer right then, they can call the factory, get the answer, and then, before the end of class, give us an answer.
The 42 firefighters taking part will receive a certification after the week-long class. We were told the training here in Venice has a 3-year-long waiting list for agencies to take part. Live in Venice, Christopher Brantley, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Wow. Okay, thank you so much, Christopher. Tomorrow marks National Vietnam Veteran Day. Some of the heaviest fighting and casualties in the Vietnam War happened on March 29th, 50 years ago. A welcome home celebration free to the public will be held at 9:30 tomorrow morning at the Sarasota National Cemetery to honor Suncoast veterans. There are 28,000 veterans in Sarasota and Manatee counties alone. The event is a wonderful way to salute veterans who were often forgotten when they returned from war. We'll have more on that celebration tomorrow on Good Morning Suncoast. Still to come on your Suncoast News, hundreds of protesters calling for action in the police shooting of a man in California. And meteorologist Steve Newman will be back with your first alert forecast, plus the judge's latest decision in the trial of the Pulse nightclub shooter's wife. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
Could the next American Idol be right here on the Suncoast? I'm Joey Panic. We'll sit down with Bradenton resident Mylan Shamble and hear how she got a golden ticket to go to Hollywood to compete on the new ABC 7 show. We'll sit down with a Suncoast rabbi who will share Passover traditions. Plus, a doctor explains a new facelift option without surgery and a preview of Wine Walk at the Ringling.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
It's California Closet's Lighting and Accessories Sales Event. Save up to $1,000 now through April 30th. Call 1-800-CAL-CLOSETS for your free design consultation or visit us online at californiaclosets.com.
Car experts and customers agree there's a lot to love about a new Subaru. Subaru is Kelley Blue Book's 2017 most trusted brand, best overall brand, and lowest 5-year cost to own. And Subaru Outback is an IIHS top safety pick for 10 years running. Now lease the most fuel-efficient vehicle in its class, a new Subaru Outback for just $239 a month. Or get 0% financing with 0 down during the Subaru A Lot to Love event. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
One of the motivating factors for me to become a Big Brother was that I was mentored as a youth. And it was important for me to kind of pass forward the things that were kind of given to me. It's really just as simple as getting to know a kid. You don't have to be an athlete. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to have any of those other things. You just have to be willing to spend a little time and help mold some young person's life.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 78.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
For more than 100 years, American Humane Association has been teaching kids to be kind to animals. Those in our homes, on the farms, on the silver screen, and wildlife conservation, caring for the world's vanishing creatures. But we can't do it alone. Visit kindness100.org to find ways to teach kids how they can make a more caring, compassionate, and humane world for all of us.
It's California Closet's Lighting and Accessories Sales Event. Save up to $1,000 now through April 30th. Call 1-800-CAL-CLOSETS for your free design consultation or visit us online at californiaclosets.com.
The outrage continues in Sacramento over the shooting death of an unarmed black man, Stephon Clark. Protesters, including Stephon's brother, disrupting a council meeting and blocking fans from getting into an NBA game. ABC's Maggie Rulli has the latest.
A city on alert as protesters demand justice for the death of Stephon Clark.
We're here because excessive force was being used. Right. We are here because of police officers, not because of protesters.
The 22-year-old was killed by police, shot 20 times in his grandparents' backyard in Sacramento. The entire thing caught on body cameras.
They didn't have to kill him like that. They didn't have to shoot him that many times.
The two policemen who responded say they felt threatened and thought Clark had a gun, but Clark was unarmed and was only holding his cell phone.
Does this look like a gun?
Hundreds filled the latest city council meeting. In the crowd, Clark's brother.
Stephon Clark! Stephon Clark!
Demanding justice inside, as outside even more protesters surrounded the Golden One Center, where for the second time in a week, they blocked fans from entering the Sacramento Kings game. The Kings say they stand with the community, releasing this PSA.
There must be accountability. Black, white, brown. We are one. We are one. One.
And the mayor says his goal is unity.
This is not just about the death of Stephon Clark. We recognize that there have been other lives lost who also drive your grief and passion for change. You will be heard.
And California's Attorney General has announced his office will oversee an independent investigation. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, New York.
The widow of Pulse nightclub shooter Omar Mateen may soon know her fate. 31-year-old Nora Salman is on trial for obstruction of justice and providing material support to a foreign terrorist organization. This afternoon, the judge handed her case over to the jury for deliberation. Jurors heard 10 days of testimony about whether she knew her husband planned to open fire inside the Pulse nightclub in Orlando. If she is convicted on the terror charge, she could face life in prison. Now to the drama surrounding President Trump. Adult film star Stormy Daniels calling for the president and his personal lawyer to answer questions under oath. Daniels and her lawyer filed a motion seeking to depose the president on what he knew about the $130,000 non-disclosure agreement that she signed just days before the 2016 election. The White House has denied that the president had any knowledge of that agreement between Daniels and Michael Cohen.
Nope. We have addressed this once again extensively, and we have nothing new to add. And for any new questions, I would refer you to the president's personal counsel.
Cohen's attorney says he does not believe the case will ever get to the deposition stage. However, Daniels' attorney says he does believe the case will move forward, and he hopes to put the president and Cohen under oath in the coming months. And SpaceX is making waves in the space industry, but the company is also making holes. Last year's August 24th launch of the Falcon 9 rocket tore a hole in the Earth's ionosphere. The 560-mile wide hole was only temporary, but it could be cause for concern. Most rockets lift off with a curved trajectory due to their weight and gravity, but the August launch took a nearly vertical path into space, which caused that hole. As more launches take place, scientists warn that tears in the atmosphere could cause disruptions in GPS service. And NASA is preparing to launch a Planet Hunter next month. The Transiting Exoplanet Survey Satellite, or TESS, I hope I said that correctly, is NASA's next mission. Officials say TESS will be on the lookout for planets that could support life outside of our solar system. It is expected to launch from Cape Canaveral on April 16th. It will pick up the search as the Kepler Space Telescope runs out of fuel. Pretty interesting there, Steve.
Fascinating stuff. And they're punching a hole in the ionosphere. We've messed up the surface, now let's mess up the upper.
No.
I'm kidding. It's just, it's not that big of a deal, I don't think. But it could disrupt radio communications from the GPS satellites.
Okay.
Taking a look today, we had puffy cumulus clouds. Let's call these popcorn cumulus clouds. They look like little puffs of popcorn in the sky, passing by from time to time. A little drier in the atmosphere with high pressure on top of us. And it's going to stay pretty much this way for the next couple of days. Currently over Sarasota Bay as we look live out, the temperature is 76 at the airport. Our dew point is 59, 56% humidity, and the winds are not as strong today as they were at this time yesterday. In fact, some coastal areas are starting to see a little bit of a sea breeze. You can kind of see that kicking in along the Keys, 8 miles an hour from the southwest at Longboat Key, the same at Siesta, but the prevailing wind is coming in from the southeastern part of Florida, so it's a southeasterly winds, except for we're getting that local sea breeze effect. And you can clearly see that on our satellite view. Look at those popcorn cumulus, Jacqueline, moving right across the state, but there's strong high pressure, and high pressure means sinking and drying air, and this high is pretty strong, so it's just squashing these clouds, keeping them from really developing very high, just an indication that we're not going to see any showers. But they're seeing some big storms in the deep south, lower Mississippi Valley and East Texas. This is the outlook from the Storm Prediction Center for today. Tomorrow the threat moves eastward almost to the panhandle of Florida across the deep south, and right now we have a whole string of tornado watches from about Corpus Christi, Texas, across Houston, Shreveport, northern Louisiana into Mississippi, and already we've had one tornado warning in effect between Alexandria and Monroe within the last half hour. So some very strong storms moving in. We'll be following that through the evening hour. And this really is our next weather maker, the front producing it. But by the time it gets here, we'll be lucky to get a drop of rain from it. It's just going to be coming in contact with this high pressure over the southeast. It's just going to squash it. Temperatures across the nation, there's the heat producing the storms down south in the 70s and low 80s. New York City and Boston and the northeastern states kind of cloudy and cool. New York City 51, it's 48 in Chicago. But California is getting a break from the rain, having beautiful weather out there. Here's our futurecast showing the high pressure just fighting off the advance of this front, or at least the energy from the front. It's just dissipating as it approaches. And you can see tomorrow and into Friday, the front moves into the panhandle. There could be some strong storms in the panhandle. I'm not saying we're not going to get any rain at all or any storms from this. But look what happens. This is the RPM computer in-house model that goes out 2 days. Let's switch to the European model. It has pretty much a good handle on it. From Friday evening, the front comes through Friday night into Saturday dry. You can see hardly any rain from it when it passes by. And then on Easter Sunday, skies clear. Some residual moisture, you could see some interior showers, but along the Sun Coast, we should be dry for Easter Sunday. Here's my forecast for tonight. It'll be a fair to partly cloudy night. Our low temperature 61 degrees. That's a little warmer than normal with southeast winds 5 to 10. Now tomorrow I think those winds are going to pick up again from the southeast, 10 to 15, gusting to 20. So get ready for the winds to be a factor, making very high fire danger. Be very careful as we move into the weekend. And warm too. Unseasonably warm doesn't help with a high temperature of 82. Here's your 7-day outlook showing Thursday will be sunny for the most part, high of 82. Friday, start of Passover at sunset, the high will be 80. Lows in the mid-60s as we move through the holiday weekend. The chance of showers only about 20% with that front coming through early Saturday, clearing for Sunday, Easter, high of 80, and then we stay dry, unfortunately, next week. And that's our complete weather. Jacqueline.
Okay, thanks, Steve. Now to first alert traffic. If you're heading home on I-75 tonight, we are seeing minor backups in the northbound lanes right around the University Parkway exit. However, the rest of the interstate is looking all clear at this hour. In health news tonight, your doctor's orders may soon involve you taking selfies as you take your medication. That's all thanks to a new phone app which lets them supervise you remotely. For some diseases, it's vital that you take the medication exactly as prescribed, but some patients often forget, which is why some experts are praising the new technology for making health services more efficient.
So we can accomplish in a 2-minute phone call something that might have taken us an hour to do, and most of that hour was in the car.
Some healthcare professionals applaud the new tool for its ability to help them monitor a patient and check for potential red flags. Meanwhile, some technology experts worry about privacy and data security. You might want to think twice about putting rubber duckies in your child's bathtub. A new study shows the popular bath toys are full of bacteria and fungi. Researchers borrowed well-loved duckies from households and placed them in either clean water or dirty water, but a clear majority, 80%, had potentially harmful bacteria cells. Now researchers aren't exactly sure if that bacteria and fungi is harmful to kids, and in some cases they say exposing to children to microbes like this can result in a stronger immune system. And birth control pills aren't a revolutionary concept unless we're talking about a pill for men. Kim Hutcherson has more details.
Researchers have spent decades trying to develop a birth control pill for men. And according to a new study, they may finally be making headway. The results were presented at a recent Endocrine Society meeting. They indicate the proposed pill reduces hormone levels responsible for sperm production, including testosterone, without any major side effects. Participants were randomly assigned to one of 4 groups. One group received a placebo, and the other 3 received varying doses of the medication. After 28 days, testosterone levels in all 3 groups taking the medication were comparable to levels seen after castration. The group getting the highest dose also had a significant reduction in 2 hormones that regulate testosterone and sperm production. The main purpose of the study was to find an effective dosage. More research needs to be done before any pill could go into production. The study's sample size is too small to definitively evaluate potential side effects for the general population, and the duration was too short to evaluate the potential for liver damage. For today's Health Minute, I'm Kim Hutcherson.
Coming up, a wild elephant that appears to be smoking, and a state trooper survives getting hit by a car. Both all caught on camera. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Motor Trend said the new Alfa Romeo Giulia is hands down the best sports sedan you can buy today. And named it the 2018 Motor Trend Car of the Year. Rediscover your passion for driving at Sunset Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
The Mark, Sarasota. Landmark living in the center of it all. A private oasis in the sky. Luxurious private amenities. Promenade shopping and dining. The best of downtown downstairs. Now under construction and priced from the mid-700s, this is life right where you want it. Call or visit our Discovery Sales Gallery today. The Mark Sarasota, presented by the Culture Group.
That is a pretty good breakfast. You're not even eating.
Not hungry.
No? Why not? What's up?
Kath and I knew that Jenny'd been partying a bit. Found out she tried heroin.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
My name is Julius. I have cerebral palsy. I work for Farmer Jeffrey Weising Law Firm. I do a lot of data entry and scanning documents. I want to increase my working experience to make the company much better. At the end of the day, it's good to think of the day's work and to think about what I have accomplished.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
When evaluating the Alfa Romeo Stelvio, Car and Driver magazine said every crossover should be this good to drive. We agree. Rediscover your passion for driving at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
An animal displaying unusual behavior in the wild in a shocking crash involving a state trooper. Here's Jeremy Roth with today's Take a Look at This.
A bizarre scene in the wild caught on camera. Video of an Asian elephant appearing to blow smoke has wildlife experts baffled. The newly released video was shot in 2016 at Nagarajo National Park in India. The elephant ingests something with its trunk, then blows out a gust of smoke. Wildlife Conservation Society experts say this is the first known documentation of such behavior. They suggest the animal may have been ingesting natural charcoal and blowing out the ash. Now to a shocking scene on a Utah highway. A state trooper who was rescuing a stranded vehicle ended up needing to be rescued himself after he was hit by a passing car. Sergeant Cade Brenchley's dashcam captured the accident. We want to warn you, the video is shocking. The impact is so powerful it sent the trooper flying into the air. He broke his shoulder and some ribs, but he is expected to make a full recovery. And finally, a mummy mystery unravels in Australia. Researchers discovered mummy remains inside a 2,500-year-old coffin thought to be empty. The coffin, or sarcophagus if you want to be fancy about it, had been untouched for some 150 years. Then, during a recent routine check, bones, clothes, and beads were discovered inside. Hieroglyphics on the sarcophagus say it contains the remains of a woman named Mernethetes, who was a prestigious high priestess from 600 BC. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Still to come on your Suncoast News, why Longboat Key police are warning boaters to take caution and lock up their vessels. Plus, Sarasota has spent hundreds of thousands of dollars cleaning up from the opioid epidemic. What the city is now doing about getting some of that money back.
It's California Closet's Lighting and Accessories Sales Event. Save up to $1,000 now through April 30th. Call 1-800-CAL-CLOSETS for your free design consultation or visit us online at californiaclosets.com.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator, there was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs, stop the crimes.
Here's today's job of the day. ABC7 is seeking an assistant news director to guide daily operations. Minimum 3 years newsroom management experience required. Visit mysuncoast.com/job of the day to apply.
The Mark, Sarasota. Landmark living in the center of it all. A private oasis in the sky. Luxurious private amenities. Promenade shopping and dining. The best of downtown downstairs. Now under construction and priced from the mid-700s. This is life, right where you want it. Call or visit our Discovery Sales Gallery today. The Mark Sarasota, presented by the Culture Group.
My name is Luke Perry, and I am 1 million strong. I'm in the fight against colorectal cancer because I believe we can win it. Colon and rectal cancers are the second leading cause of cancer deaths among men and women in the U.S. Colon cancer is preventable. Know the risk factors and make sure to get screened. There are simple, take-home options available. Take control of your health. Screening for colon cancer isn't embarrassing. It can be life-saving. To find out more about your options, visit fightcrc.org.
My goal every day when I come into work at ABC7 is to tell your stories, give you that major local news and those details that you really care about. I'm Jacqueline Matter, and I'm here for you.
It's California Closet's Lighting and Accessories Sales Event. Save up to $1,000 now through April 30th. Call 1-800-CAL-CLOSETS for your free design consultation or visit us online at californiaclosets.com.